Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey, y'all. It's me, Tamara. Yes, studio audience, thank you so much for just being so loving and supportive and welcoming. And everybody, welcome to the show. To all my new listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. New episodes drop every Thursday. So come on back through, you know what I'm saying? I talk about my life, the ways I'm trying to grow normally. And then for all of my day 1, 2, 3, 4, 97, 137, y'all, it's week 145. Wherever you came in, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're not, follow me on social media, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's super free to do those things to support, and the link to all that is in the episode notes. Guys, this is a special episode. So I have four siblings. So 2 brothers, 2 sisters. I'm the oldest, you know what I'm saying? So everybody is not beneath me, because that sounds, but I was here first. That's what I'm saying, y'all. And the youngest of the bunch, which it's an interesting sibling dynamic, because it's like I have 2 sets of siblings. I don't know, but not really. Kind of. It's interesting. So here's the thing, guys. So I have, I guess I do, because I have the kids that my mom had, and then I have the kids that my dad had, and there's a little overlap, and then there's not overlap. So this is hilarious. Anyways, my sister Viv is here, guys. Yay! Yes, thank you. So she is my youngest sister. Her birthday is 2 days after mine, which is pretty dope. Got to see her this year for the first time in 5 years. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But first, we have a game, guys. Yes, y'all know when I have guests, I either start with a game or I saw a tweet, and I thought that the people, if I had you on the show, we got to be close or something, because not all of my siblings have made it onto the show. No shade to the rest of them. We just don't talk all like that. So we got to be kind of close if you're on here, just for not like some special episode or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured it would be a great idea to do a trivia game type thing that I made up, because y'all know I like to make games up, to see how well you actually know me. Yes.
I feel like this is just a trap. Like,
what? No, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I mean, I feel like when I was putting this list together, which Kayliana helped me, shout out to her, but I try to pick things that I feel like maybe we've talked about at some point, because we've talked about a lot of different things, y'all. We used to FaceTime more than we do now.
Just both busier now.
Yeah, because we used to. At one point, it was like once a month for sure, and then it just keeps getting more and more spread out. But yeah, so I feel like these are things, but we will see in today's episode of how well. It's called Sister. Oh man. Yeah, so okay. There we go, guys. All right, so Am I? Oh, let me see. Which sounds do I want to use?
Or
Okay.
we're just going right in.
Yeah.
Wait, so I'm only answering questions. You're not answering any questions about me?
Correct. Unless you made up some
What?
questions.
No.
Okay, so
But it
no.
feels a little unfair, is all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, in your years of life, you should have learned that, the people in power, they take freedoms that those not in power don't get those freedoms. So in this scenario, since I created the outline for the show, I would be the person in power. So yeah, how well
Okay,
do you know
okay.
me? All right. So, dun-dun-dun. Am I Team DC or Team Marvel?
Marvel. Yeah.
Yes. And it's funny because when I wrote that one, I told Gillian, I was like, I'm gonna say DC first because I don't want her to think because I say Marvel first that I'm Team Marvel.
Well, I was thinking it through, and I feel like I haven't heard you say that you're Team Marvel as much, but I have heard you trash DC quite a few
Mm,
times.
mm,
So I was like, my brain was like, oh, DC, because I feel like I've heard you talk about DC more, but
hmm
it's negative.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Yeah, I am definitely Team Marvel. I pretty much have all of their movies. Actually, that's not true. I don't own all of their movies, but I have seen all of their movies. And it's interesting because with Guardians of the Galaxy, I watched that later, like later than when it came out, because for whatever reason, I didn't realize that was a Marvel movie. I thought it was just some Pixar or maybe even DC movie. So I was like, forget that. But then I came to my senses and then yeah.
It's
So
like one of the best ones.
definitely Team Marvel, definitely and I've watched Batman, they have that. I've watched Superman.
Yeah, but
One
DC feels dried up because how many times have we watched Batman?
I wasn't gonna go there, but let's talk about it because, like, what else do they really have? Wonder Woman. My goodness, I did not like that movie at all. But like,
I
I
never saw it.
try to, because I like action movies. I like comic book based movies. Not saying I was a super duper comic book reader as a kid because I wasn't, but I've read some here and there. You know what I mean? And yeah, but Marvel just now, but I will say I haven't been a fan of the Marvel like TV shows that have come out. So I think I watched what was it called? Shield, Agents of Shield. So I did
Mhm.
watch that. It was very weird at times, but I watched it. Loki, much as I love him, I tried. I really tried.
You didn't like it. I
WandaVision.
So
Mm,
WandaVision, I loved Loki, and Loki's my favorite Marvel character. But WandaVision, I started it. I got through the first like probably 3 episodes and was like, I don't understand why anyone likes this, and I gave up. But I had a slow day where I decided to pick it back up, and it really it finishes strong. It's very good, but like it's also like why would I want to spend 3 episodes watching something waiting for it to get good? Like, I totally understand that too. But
Because Janae kept saying you just got to keep watching it, and my thought, why though? Like, no,
yeah, they paced it
no.
poorly, I think.
The only time I got caught up in that is with P Valley, the first season. Haven't watched the second season yet because I want to just binge it, and they're only releasing like one episode at a time. So I'm just gonna wait until the entire season is out. But with P Valley season one, I was not going to watch that literally at all. And then I went to get my hair done and she turned it on and I was there for hours. And so everyone had said, you have to get like to the fourth episode or something like that. And again, why would I want to watch something for 3 episodes and not like it until the fourth? Well, I was stuck there for hours watching because that's what she was watching. And I'm like, this is stupid. She was like, no, just keep watching. And then by the time I left, it was the fifth episode. And I was like going home to finish the season and see what happened. So, other than that, no, I'm not forcing myself to suffer for episodes at a time.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I can see episodes, but like when people say like, "Oh, you just have to get to like season 2." Like you're
Oh,
telling me I
hell
need to
no.
watch an entire season of bad television in order to get what is it? So I never liked The Office. I never was able I know. I know that's
Ooh.
a big sin.
No, I'm
Um
just thinking because like two of no three of the pod crew. So I know they're gonna hear this episode. Like I've watched it. I'm not like I like it, but I didn't watch it was when it was out.
mhm.
So I've watched episodes since, and so it's hard for me to like really get into it because it's old and I know like it's over. So I like it, but they like love it.
Well, that was a show where people told me like, "Oh, you just have to get past the first season and then you'll really like it." And I'm like, "Why would I watch an entire season of TV about people at an office? I work in an office. I know what it's like to be in an office." And if I had watched the first couple of episodes and liked it, then I would have watched it, but it just didn't draw me. And then the other main one was The Good Place. Everyone swore up and down to me, they're like, you gotta stick with it. You'll really like it. And I'm
I've
like,
never
there
heard of that.
are The Good Place? Yeah, it's kind of it's like an afterlife kind of sitcom commentary, and it sounds
Okay.
like as a whole, like the concepts and ideas I think are good that I've heard about, but I couldn't make myself sit and watch it. I was like, there's so much to watch that I want to see. Like,
Hmm.
you know, I don't know.
Interesting. Okay, so good job on that.
Mhm.
Question number 2. Dun-dun-dun. I wish I had that sound, but I'm working on it. How do I like my coffee?
Oh gosh, I have no idea. I'm gonna say not black, because I trust that you love yourself. Um, oh, so you do have a sound for that.
I do. So I'm just gonna stop you right there because I definitely drink my coffee black. Now, I didn't always. I used to do. Oh gosh, and I will have a peppermint mocha in the winter or whatever.
Mhm,
But when I started on my Snatch 40s journey, but it was actually before my 40s when I made this switch. I started thinking about what are little things that I can do that I can maintain to like cut unnecessary sugars and stuff like that. And so I don't remember how many years ago cuz it's been years now of this where I just forced myself to drink it. It is definitely an acquired taste, definitely. It was very rough in the beginning, very, but I forced myself because I need coffee, so I knew I was going to drink coffee and I wanted to cut my sugars. So,
yeah.
yeah.
That's a reasoning I hear a lot from a lot of people. It's just like,
Mhm.
you need the caffeine, like doctoring up. If you're drinking coffee every day, and then some people who drink multiple cups, like that's a lot
Mhm.
of sugar by that point. I
Mhm.
I'm not a huge coffee drinker anyway. Like to me, I drink coffee for enjoyment, not for being awake.
Mm.
So I there's nothing enjoyable to me about hot bean water.
Don't do coffee. Don't do that. Yeah. Fun fact about coffee though that I learned in college is that technically it's not that it wakes you up. What
Mhm.
it actually does is it opens up your veins and something else with like circulation to make you focus more. So like I can drink when it's late at night. Usually this happens on a Friday, and I'm like trying to finish up my work for the week because I don't do any work on Saturdays, and I'm trying to like be at an okay stopping point or whatever. I could drink coffee, black coffee, late at night and still go to sleep because I just need to focus real quick.
Mhm.
And then it does not, for me, it doesn't hinder me from like going to sleep at night. So, yeah. But, okay, maybe you know this next one. Dun-dun-dun. What is my alcohol of choice?
Oh, I'm supposed to know this. It's Crown, but it's a specific one. It,
Go ahead.
it, I want to say it's apple, but part of
Yes,
me.
yes.
Okay, yeah.
Now, I will give you that because that is my favorite drink. I can't drink it. I think I'm allergic to whiskey or something because I just started like I would break out and who knows, it could have been I was drinking too much and cuz I started doing research and so I just stopped drinking it altogether. And so now my go-to is rum because I like alcohols that I could drink straight, like take
Mhm.
shots. I do mixed drinks, but you get more intoxicated when you factor in all the sugars and all that stuff. And I don't really like being drunk. Like I could do 2 shots and I'm good and I don't need anything else at all. Now, yeah, if I'm trying to be turned, okay, yes. But when I'm
Mhm.
not, nah, just straight liquor is more so you don't like you get the buzz, but without all that extra that the sugar adds to it.
Right, the sugar makes your hangovers worse too when
Mhm.
you have them.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
was
Yep. Yep.
a I was a Malibu girl in college.
Okay, so the next question. Dun-dun-dun. What is my favorite hobby?
Writing,
Okay.
creating.
Because if you didn't know this, we were just going to end this recording right now and I
Stop
would
being sisters.
yeah, like seriously
Like, lose
because
my number.
man, maybe and tell dad don't be talking about no did you talk to your sister? No. No, I didn't. No. Yeah, yeah, and I'm the journal that you gave me for my birthday last year because it's in an order, so it came up in the rotation when I tagged you and whatever,
Mhm.
and I'm over halfway through the journal.
So I need to get
So
another one.
yeah, Kayliana got me one for mm, was it Mother's Day? She got me one for something, and so that's next up in the rotation. And then somebody else got me one recently for something else. So like I have two kind of like on deck. And that's usually how it goes. Like it's never a waste, guys, if you want to get me a gift to get me a journal because I promise you at some point it will be used in the
Mhm.
order in which it was received. So
You gotta
yeah.
keep that queue full.
Mhm.
Make
Mhm.
sure it doesn't.
And yeah, make sure I don't have to buy my own journal because who wants to do that? Which I honestly can't think of the last time I bought my own journal because someone always gets me one for a gift. And so, like, no lie, it probably has been years since I've had to buy a journal. Now, I'll buy planners and stuff like that, or
Mhm.
if I want certain notebooks for my poetry, I'll do that. But as far as like journals, I haven't bought one in years just because people are great and they know it's a good gift to get me. Okay. Dun-dun-dun. I really wish I had this sound, but and I guess I could have been better prepared, but it's too late.
Is it? Is it the Do you want to be a millionaire? Is that the
Mhm.
sound that you're doing?
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm. Mhm.
I couldn't tell at first, but
Yeah. So, what are my favorite colors?
Oh no. I think pink and purple.
Mm,
Okay.
yes,
I know
yes.
more than I think I know.
See, these and not just like these are things we talked about like
Hmm.
at some point in life or something. The colors though, I figured you would know because of the pen you got me. Like you specifically asked me
Yeah,
what my favorite colors were. So yeah. So yeah. All right.
it's
Now
in the
this
vault.
one. Yeah, it's in there. You actually know me pretty well. So, what oh, dun-dun-dun. Yeah, we gotta keep it together. What is my favorite season?
Hmm. I'm gonna say fall.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Yes. What made you say fall? Because I could tell it was a guess.
Well, so I remember. I know you like cooler weather, and
Mhm.
I at first I was thinking it was winter, but I feel like you don't love. Well, you like snow. Do you?
Mm,
No, you don't like snow.
it's pretty until the
Right.
cars like if it could just be on the grass and not the street and sidewalk and driveway somehow. Yeah, it's really pretty to look at, and I like making snowmen and all that stuff. But it's nasty and messy, and people can't drive, and yeah.
Yeah. That's where I was like, I knew you liked cooler weather, but like I couldn't. I felt like it wasn't winter because there is so much that comes along with winter that's just more difficult.
Also, the negative like 30 below and all that crap we get with the wind chill to
Oh yeah.
where yeah. All right, so next we're gonna move into three would you rather questions. So
Okay.
you have to guess would I rather whatever you think I would rather do out of these questions.
Okay.
All right, so dun-dun-dun. Would I rather never be able to see or never be able to hear? Yeah, it got deep real quick.
Yeah. Um, I think you would rather never be able to hear.
Mm. Yep, yep. Because you know why? Because sometimes I don't want to hear what people be talking about, anyways.
Hmm.
So if like I don't want to ever be deaf for real, God. But if like, oh well, I can't hear you anyway, type thing. Okay, cool. But to like not be able to see, I just feel like, gosh, movies, writing. I mean, like yeah,
Driving.
there's like there's a show that I watched that was like many of the actors were deaf and it was about this girl who I forget what it was called, but it was like they found out they were switched at birth. That's what it was
Shepherd.
called. Yeah. So like you can obviously still and I'm not saying that blind people can't but yeah, I would rather be able to see if I had to choose than not be able to hear. So, yes. Okay. Would I rather have more money or have more time?
Hmm. This might be wrong, but I'm gonna say money.
You would think that would be the answer, but for me, time is money right now. I feel like I need more time to do what I need to do or want to do or whatever sometimes. And money, I mean, money, don't get me wrong. I do wish I had more money, but if I had to choose, I would rather have more time.
But
So,
would you need more time if you had more money? I feel like you could buy yourself time if you just
how?
had more money. Think about all the like regular tasks you have to do in a day. You could hire a whole staff for yourself. and you could, you know, divvy out tasks to people. You don't have to go grocery shopping. You don't have to cook. You don't have to clean. And then
Hmm.
you can spend all of the time. Suddenly you have more time to
Hmm.
do things that you enjoy doing because you can pay someone else to do the
Hmm.
things that you'd rather not be doing.
Hmm. You know, I never really thought of it that way. Um, yeah. You know what? We're gonna change that. We're gonna change that answer to more money because I had not even really thought about that. In my mind, I'm just like, because I do everything. So it's like I have to do all these things. I need more time. And we're getting to a point that there are things that I would feel comfortable delegating to other people because
Right.
yes, a girl, especially grocery shopping, I already do that. I
We've talked about that
already,
before.
yes, like, and I didn't start doing this until I kind of was forced to because of the pandemic,
Hmm.
and I'm sad that I was missing out all this time on now Uber Eats, DoorDash, and all that. I'm not really a fan of those because I struggle with a third party that doesn't work for the restaurant being the one because I'm like, do you even really care? Like, you know what
Right.
I mean? However, there are certain, like, for whatever reason where my mom lives, the pizza that we really like, they don't deliver here, but you can get it like DoorDash or whatever. So like in that instance, I may, because I'm quick to, oh yeah, I'll do a 30-day free trial and then cancel it just to, excuse me, waive fees or whatever.
Hmm.
So yeah, I already though am on the grocery delivery because I literally just like I have groceries coming in a couple hours because like it's always like what is my most valuable thing right now? For me right now it's time. And
Hmm.
so I would rather pay if cuz like with Walmart for example, if you pay I think it's 12.95 a month. I'm in the 30-day free trial, you know, to see whatever. But if you pay that, then you don't have delivery fees on, you know, regular stuff unless you're trying to have something express.
Right.
And so for me, it's worth it because now I do tip the driver and but other than that, like yes, shop for me. I'll put it away because I have other stuff to do. So, but if I didn't have to cook, like if I
Hmm.
could hire somebody, because there are times that I'll sit here and like work so long that then it's like, okay, well, let me hurry up and eat something because I like really should have ate probably a couple hours ago, honestly. So,
Right.
okay, okay, way to flip the script. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All
I didn't.
right.
I didn't come to preach, but sometimes this
Mm,
happens.
mm, mm. Yes, yes, yes. Praise him on a Sunday. Yes. All right. So, last question in the in the would you rather or would I rather? Would I rather dun-dun-dun, be able to read people's minds or control people's thoughts? Shout out to Kayliana for that one
Yeah, that's a
because
fascinating
yeah,
question.
I would have never thought of that, but yeah,
So I'm gonna process this one a little externally for a second.
that's fine.
It's deep.
Yeah.
Because I think for myself at least, like I would never want to read minds because I just imagine that people just think all kinds of things that I just don't care or want to know. I guess I'm not really certain like what would be the advantage to controlling people's thoughts. I mean, definitely like you can manipulate some things a little bit better. I'm not certain about this one because I think that you could look at this a couple of different ways. Um, and I'm not sure which way you would approach this question, but I'm going to say that you would rather control people's thoughts.
Whoops. I guess those go
Wow,
together.
2 insults.
Yeah, sorry. So I too had to externally process this question when Kayliana gave me, because she gave me this one. And while I don't want to know what people think, so that I'm not like, I wouldn't rush to that if it was paired with something else I wanted more, because I don't need to know what people think. I just don't want to like have the power to control people's thoughts. That's just weird to me, because like God doesn't even control our thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, and so to have that type of power, I don't know. Like, I don't even want, and it's not because I would. I mean, who knows what kind of person I would be, though. Honestly, I know power doesn't corrupt, but I don't want to get a power like that and then find out that like, and what would be the benefit other than, okay, sure, in some minute instances, okay, yeah, it could be beneficial to control people's thoughts, but really, what benefit? Because just because someone has a thought doesn't mean they're going to act on it.
Exactly. That was
So,
my
like, yeah.
I was thinking, well, you could do something like, because the only thing I can imagine is like, so Kevin's sitting over here, right? And I could say, I really want some water. My water is running low, and so I could like put in Kevin's head like, hey, Viv's water is empty, and you're so sweet and so loving, and like maybe she wants some more water. And like you're right, he doesn't have to act on that. He doesn't have to get up and get me more water, but it is definitely more of a chance that he might feel compelled than if he just was left to himself and just never had that thought at all.
See, but the stuff that I would want to control someone's mind for wouldn't be something trivial like that. Although that's great. Shout out, yes, get some water if she needs it. But for me, I would be thinking way bigger than that. Like me without a vehicle right now, my thought would be I want to have a dealer. See, it'd be a whole chain of events where a dealer says, I want to give away a black SUV because that's what I want. And then tells somebody that knows me, that knows that I need a car, because I don't know any dealers otherwise. That's why there has to be a third party involved in this.
Hmm.
And then they say me. So it's like I would want it for like something extreme like that, or find a house and the rent be a certain amount. You know what I'm saying? However, just because the thought is placed in their head doesn't mean that they are going to do it. So it's
Right.
kind of like, what's the point? So yeah, I would rather, if I had to choose, read people's minds. I know it would probably be very traumatic, but I just don't see the benefit in controlling. Because then if I put some stuff in your head and you don't do what I say, or I thought, or I watched Inception last night. That's hilarious. If the idea doesn't become your own, because then there's that too. According to Inception, have you seen that movie ever?
No.
Okay. So Inception is literally one of my favorite movies. Like, it is a movie that I have seen. I own it. So once I own a movie, that means I really like it because I want to watch it again, because I don't just buy movies just to buy them.
Hmm.
And I watched it last night actually, and the whole premise of the movie, Leonardo DiCaprio is in it, as well as, now his name is Elliot. I can't remember what. So you
Elliot
know what?
Page.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So he's in it, and some other people like that. I can't think of their names, but they've been in other stuff. And they're trying to. It's about the mind and the whole concept of like planting an idea in somebody's head, but in a way that they make it their own. So according to them, because if you put a thought, like if I said, like if you say to Kevin, I need some more water, then he knows that you put the thought in his head, and so he's not going to embrace it as his own thought.
Mhm.
Whereas with the inception, you share a dream with someone, and then there's like multiple levels that you go down to, and the whole premise is they're trying to implant an idea in somebody's head, but you have to do it at the most simplest form of the idea so that it grows with them because it ultimately shapes who they become.
Mhm.
So it would take too much work for me to like make people do what I need them to do. So yeah. But yeah, guys, this is my sister. We are here. Um she came to visit recently, so that was cool. When I talked about going to the zoo, this is who I went to the zoo with. Now, when was the last time you were in Omaha before before last month or 2 months ago or whatever?
I was 2 months old
Mm,
the
mm.
last time I was in Omaha previous
How
to
old are you now? Not because I don't know, but because the people don't know.
the viewers. 27.
Ah, so you haven't been to visit Omaha in 27 years. So let me give y'all some background information on our family dynamic because because I some of y'all may be confused because I'm saying this is my dad's daughter, and you guys know I've talked about my bio dad and me being the only child and all these things. So I don't want to cause confusion. My stepdad, who's raised me since I was 2, whenever I'm talking about just whenever I say dad, that's who I'm talking about. Like I always refer to the man who was involved with my birth and conception. I always refer to him as just my bio dad because he's done nothing else. And so my mom and dad, but stepdad, obviously they were married at some point, and then that's where I should say we have a, how old is Rebecca? Because Cedric isn't my only brother, y'all.
He's 10 years older than me, right? Yeah. He should be about 10 years older than me.
So he's 39 because he's 3 years younger than me. So yeah, so they had Ramel, so that's her older brother, my younger brother. Then when I was 10, they divorced, and then my dad remarried her mom, and then they had her, and so that's how. And yeah, so like she grew up, which is so this is why I wanted to talk about this. So we'll go there now. Like she grew up an only child, but really wasn't an only child because she had 2 older siblings that are 12 and 15 years older than her. So like, and then I don't remember if I met you when you were a baby or not. I'm sure you did. I did if you lived here, but you weren't here long enough for me to really think about it like that. And I would have been 15. So,
Yeah. I think my mom said she has pictures of us together when I'm like a newborn,
okay.
but I don't know where they are.
And I would have to see them because I don't remember that. And then we didn't see each other until you were,
16, I think,
yeah,
when our dad married for the third time.
yeah. So then we have another stepmom, which I told him like, bruh, are you done? Because I'm too old to be like, cause she has kids, so we have like other step siblings, and
Another 4, I think.
yeah, uh, I think so. For sure, I can picture 3 because I can picture 2 sons and a daughter.
Oh wait, maybe you're right. Maybe I might be getting a wife,
Oh yeah, you're
a
thinking
spouse
of,
mixed in.
yeah, okay. Yeah, and I'm just not gonna be accepting like any more after this. So uh, God bless their marriage and many, many more years, because you know. But anywho, so yeah, we didn't see each other till we were 16, and then we've kept in contact ever since, basically. So
So really, our parents robbed us because we would have been probably best friends like most of the time.
probably, Yeah, because as close as we are now, I would assume so. Yeah. So, what was that like growing up as an only child? The life that I always wanted. That is the life that I wanted for myself, and I didn't get that.
Um, I mean, at the time, you don't really know it's that different. Uh, I mean, I did things alone a lot. I think that like the only times I feel like I really missed having siblings were times where I was like getting in trouble for things and I didn't really have anyone else to confide in or get up to mischief with or anything like that. Like whether it be good or bad, I didn't have like someone else there. Like even
Mhm,
with like as prefaced by our father marrying a third time,
mhm,
his marriage with my mother didn't work out either.
right.
So I was an only child with a single parent. So like when
Mm,
you live with only one person and the only person you live with is mad at you, well then you're just alone in a house with someone who's mad at you.
mhm,
So I think yeah, I didn't I had friends, so I didn't and I definitely I have friends that I refer to as my siblings because we've been close for a really long time.
these
Since I was
imposters, gotcha, okay.
yeah, yeah, adopted people,
Yeah,
adopted family members. So I think that I gathered what siblinghood was from them because they had siblings, and the things that I gathered really weren't that great. They were really annoying to each other, and they got into fights a lot.
oh,
So I was
wow.
like, "Oh, I don't have to share any of my things.
Mm,
No one eats my food or takes things out of my room." Or like yeah so or tattles on me to my
mm.
parents. So like there's a good and a bad, right? Like there are definitely times where I wish I could have been getting in trouble with someone or
That would've been a terrible influence on you back in the day.
I might have been a very different child.
Maybe you might have, because you might have saw me and been like, I don't know."
um I feel like I was like really sheltered as a kid. I'm definitely like I know as an adult that I wasn't as sheltered as some people are, but like I definitely feel like I there was a lot that I like either didn't know about until I was a lot older or just like didn't even consider. Um I don't have a lot of concrete details. You know, Ramel did live with us for like a year.
Mhm, I remember that.
And I think I was 5 at the time and I have almost no memories of that time period except that I remember that I like pretty constantly wanted to play Candyland with him. And as a 15-year-old boy, he was not interested. Or
Right, of
15 or
course.
16, whatever. He wasn't interested in playing Candyland with me, and I was heartbroken about that because it was like the only year in my life where I had a brother, and I was like, let's do all kinds of stuff together. And I have no
Mhm,
idea like how he felt about it or anything like that. And I think also there was a I think he was still living with us when this happened. So, um, you know, those there was a time period where these were really popular. They're bubbles that you would blow, but they wouldn't pop. They would just land and
mhm.
just stay there. But
Yeah, yeah.
except over time, if you don't clean them off, they just become this like gross residue. They do pop, and this disgusting residue covers everything.
Yeah.
And I got a wand, like a pencil wand of those, probably from like a book fair or something, and filled his entire bedroom. I emptied that entire wand into his bedroom and covered everything with those bubbles.
So, okay, so I have questions now because I've never heard this story before. Like, did you think you were doing a good thing, or were you trying to?
I genuinely don't remember. I don't know. I don't know if I just like thought it was a good idea at the time. I think I didn't realize that they would damage anything for sure. Like I'd never seen them pop. That was the whole
Mhm.
point. They don't pop. So
Yeah.
I'm imagining, and I am just imagining my what I would have been thinking because I really don't remember. Um, that I probably thought it would have been a fun surprise, like,
Mhm.
oh, like I'm gonna decorate his room and it's gonna be full of
Mhm.
bubbles and it'll be so
Mhm.
cute, and not so much, not very cute.
How did he respond? Do you remember that?
I don't. That's like all of my memories of him living there are like really, really vague.
Mm. I mean,
But
I
yeah,
guess that was a long, long time ago.
yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I never,
And
you know,
actually, I would have been either I would have been 4 at the time, not 5, because our parent, my yeah, no, our dad, my mother, they split up when I was 5. So
mm.
yeah.
So the interesting thing, and maybe it's because I'm the oldest, and then under me is a brother, and then another brother 9 years under him, and then 12 years under, you know what I mean? Like, so the next sister that I had, same age as you, um, I don't know. Like, I was always kind of like just doing my own thing in a sense. Me and Ramel didn't, I can think of literally one time we ever fought, and I remember us arguing, and then I'm guessing my mom had to be at work because she worked second shift at this time, and I had a towel, a wet towel or something like that, and like smacked him on the back with it. I
Did
don't
you like?
remember.
Did you do that thing where you
Yep,
like twisted
yep,
it up? Yep.
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 I don't remember why, like what we were arguing about. Another memory that I have as a child, and this let me know he's not solid. So I wasn't really trying to get in trouble with Ramel because I remember when I was, I want to say 10 or 11, then this same, like this was around the same time that we would have gotten into this argument because we lived in this same townhome. And I don't know why I was trying to have parties at 10 or 11 while my mom's at work. Like, who does that at 10 or 11? I was always ahead of my time. But so I'm having this little get together, you know what I'm saying? And we're not doing anything too crazy. We're just watching Friday the 13th, but we're watching it without sound because we wanted to see if it was going to be as scary without the music in the background or whatever.
Okay.
So we're watching it, and my mom was supposed to get off before the or after the party was over. She was supposed to get off at a specific time. No, 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 no. She wanna get off early and come straight home, like, a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, when people get off early, they go do other things, have other life. No, not my mom. She wanna get off early, come straight home, bust up the party, put everybody out, respectfully though, and then I will never, and Ramel, I remember he pointed like she did it. So that let me know, okay, this is not the person to be doing sneaky stuff with because he is going to snitch. He's going to get you caught up. So I didn't have him involved in my shenanigans. I was, and other than that, we didn't really argue. I don't remember having like anybody taking my stuff or any of that type of stuff. Like even sometimes the way my kids are because they're closer. So then that's the thing too is that I don't have a super close relationship with him now as adults because he moved away right after high school and you know and then so it's interesting because when I look at how my kids are and their relationship and they're really close, but then there's also a lot of petty arguing and all this stuff because a lot of times that comes along with being close to someone, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
It's
So
the comfort level.
you do what you're comfortable with the people that you feel comfortable with. So
Hmm.
yeah, I
Also, no,
was
because you know you can get away with it.
that
You're like,
too
you
because
love
you
me. I can.
yeah, exactly. There's security in the relationship. And I'm not saying like I know my siblings love me, so I'm not saying that, but I'm just
Right.
saying we're just not really close. Like I talked to you, I'd say you and Cedric more than anybody else because I talk to you two more like intentionally, and it's more a mutually intentional thing because I can be just really caught up in my own stuff, but because you two have been intentional, it keeps me like, oh, let me check on my sister. Oh, let me check on my brother. Whereas my other siblings, like I said, Ramel graduated, moved away, went to college, got married, has kids. So like he's caught up in his family as he should be. And I'm not saying it like in a he doesn't care type way. We just don't really talk often. And then Anisha, we just have different lives and we just don't really talk either. So yeah, but I had always wanted to be an only child, and I didn't get that life. So then what was it like when so that transition from, like, you got to live with Ramel for a little bit, but not really, so you basically were an only child, and then we connected, and then, like, what was that like for you?
Well, it's just nice because I think like, especially coming from viewers will not know this. My mother is white, so um,
Yes,
I
that is true.
I and because of the relationship that I had with our dad when I was a kid, I wasn't super close to his family. Up, I guess I'm still not really.
Me neither. I mean, I love them, don't get me wrong, but I didn't really grow up with them, so yeah, me neither.
Yeah, Uncle Kenny was like was the uncle that I saw the most and was most familiar with. But all that to be said, I didn't have a lot of close up black representation as a kid either. And I knew that there were a lot of our family that I didn't know. So like dad's dad, because dad wasn't close to his dad when
Mhm.
we were kids. And that was the same situation actually, like randomly when I was 15, my dad was like, "Oh, your grandpa wants to talk to you." And I was like, "Excuse me?" Um, and he gave me the phone and I was talking to this strange man and he was like, "Oh yeah, one time you were at your grandma's house and I went in to see you, but you were asleep. They said you weren't feeling well, so I just like peeked in on you while you were sleeping. And I really hope to meet you before I die." And I was like, "Sir,
Oh
I don't know
my
you and that's
gosh.
really weird." Like that's a weird thing for you to say to me. Um, and then I didn't meet you or him in person until dad's wedding.
Mm.
Um, and I don't know, I feel like we just clicked super instantly, which
Mhm.
again kind of just makes me feel a little robbed because I'm like, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like we only clicked instantly because of where we both were at that exact time. Like maybe we
Mm.
needed to be in that place to meet. Like who knows? Um, but it's definitely nice to have like more people on that in that side of my life, on my dad's side of the family. Like I say more people, like there's a bunch of people. It's you. Uh, you're the people.
That's funny.
um yeah, it's just it's nice to have you. I'm very grateful for you. It's I mean, obviously we still don't live close, so we
Right.
don't I feel like, there would have been more potential for us to still get up to more shenanigans if we had been geographically closer.
Mhm.
Um, but I know like especially with our upbringings and relationship in relation to our dad, like it's been really nice to have someone to talk to about those things, who has the same dad, and so can relate, like more deeply to some of the things that I definitely needed to process as a teen. Um, yeah, actually, I think thinking about that, I'm kind of like, yeah, like between 15 and 18 is really when I was doing a lot of that,
Mhm.
like dealing with uh parts of my childhood that were I can't think of the word, unresolved.
Mm.
Uh and yeah, I think having you who had a similar experience that I could talk to and we could go back and forth. Like, I didn't feel it sucks because it's bad, so it's not something that you're like, oh, I wasn't alone in it. But I'm like not glad that like, I'm not glad that you also didn't have the best childhood. I just solidarity, and just the niceness it is to have someone to talk about those things who genuinely gets it. Um, and
It's
then you just bitch about stuff too. Like, sometimes you just need to bitch.
it's interesting because I remember when we had a talk about, because I always had a different view of, so I guess I'll give y'all a little bit of background information. So, like I said, my parents divorced when I was 10, and then they still lived here. I guess it would have been until you were 2 months old. So they still lived here till I was 15. And then we barely talked from 15 to 30. And then with Viv, like, I mean, I didn't talk to her at all until I saw her at the trip, because one, I became a mom at 19, so I was super caught up in my kids, and also how chaotic and dramatic my relationship was with my ex-husband, and then all the dumb mistakes I was making at that point in my life. So it's like, I think it's true when you said when we met in each other's lives, that was a better place for me to be who you needed me to be. You know what I'm saying? Because I could not have been what you needed from an older sister really prior to that, just because where I was at in my own life. And then I would say that, though, I had a very different view on what I thought, because like I knew dad and your mom divorced, like I knew that obviously, but I just had a very different view on what I thought it was like for you, a product of divorce, and then to find out that it was not only the same, but you dealt with stuff that was just like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm cool with all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I remember we had that conversation, because I don't talk to Ramel about stuff like this. Like, we don't have that type of relationship. Like, I'd say Cedric and I have that type of relationship where we've talked about different things, but Cedric and I don't have the same dad. So it's kind of like you said, it's like he gets it, but he doesn't, because it's like it's not his now. But he also has his own stuff. You know what I'm saying? But Ramel and I have never talked about it, and so then when we've talked about different stuff, and I'm just like, oh, okay, so she wasn't living the life that I thought that she was living. Yeah, and then I never really thought about what it would be like to go through all that alone, because I've always had siblings. But then and then I had kids. So like I've always had someone, and you don't even have kids, which, hey, listen. Listen. I love my kids. I do. Like, but if I could do some things differently, I would have. Hey, Janae. I love you so much. But if I could do some things differently, I would have. I don't know. I don't know that I would have had kids. And it's not, it literally has nothing to do with my kids. It has to do with this world. Like, if I did not have kids, I would not have kids, because this world it is wild, and like bringing people into this world is just a very interesting thing, because you just kind of never know what will happen. So yeah. I don't know. I would have. Yeah.
Yeah, mine's a mixture of like, yeah, sometimes I think about it just being like a pretty hostile place, and like, why would I want to give, why would I want to put more fodder to that? But like, mostly it's just like I struggle enough to take care of myself. Like I can't. I don't. I don't. Children make me uncomfortable. I had
Mm,
to. So all of my very close friends are mothers. I
mm,
am I am the motherless person in my
mhm,
friend group,
mm.
and I've talked to them about it before where it's like I love babies actually. I think for the most part I think babies are cute. I love the little newborn cry cuz it sounds funny to me and I like to cry back at them
Mm.
and like that's fine. Kids are just like they I'm unnerved by their lack of self-preservation and like they are just too comfortable with people too fast.
Mm.
And like
You made this like really deep.
I just like they just freak me out. Like I feel every time you turn around and you see a child, they're doing something that could kill themselves. It's bigger. Like
Yep.
it's like anything at all to like. I just feel like most wild animals are born with some sense of self-preservation to keep themselves alive, and human babies do not seem to have that.
Mm.
I had to scream it. I said scream. One of my friends, she was moving into a new home. I was helping her move, and she had a maybe not even 2 year old yet. She was going on 2. And I turn around and she is trying to jam her finger in a light socket. And I
Mm.
looked at her and I was like, "Do you want to die?"
And how did she respond to that question?
She really looked at me blank. She was like,
Because what does that even mean to a 2-year-old?
No." She gave me a wrinkled. She stopped doing it though. She like
Mm.
looked at me crazy and then was like, "Okay, I'll just go over there." So it worked.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
I was like, "What is wrong with you?" Like, which I think it's so
That's
funny because
funny.
I'm saying that now, and I think that exact thing happened to me when I was a child, much older
Mm.
than 2, actually. I think I probably would have been, like, about 6 or something like that, where I was trying to stick something into a light socket, and my mom probably said almost the exact same words,
Do
like,
you wanna
"Do
die?
you wanna die? Like,
That is
what are you doing?"
hilarious. Oh gosh, that is so funny. Yeah, well then, yeah, if that's how you feel, like I wasn't trying. That's probably a lie. It's like I was trying to have kids, but so the first two were intentional. I'll put it like that. And then, but I have 3 kids, so obviously the birth control that I tried to not have any more kids. And here's Janae just living doing her thing, just existing,
In spite of all
spinning
that.
around in the living room. So yeah,
Birth control who?
facts. You know what I mean? So like, I was trying to have kids, and then I was like, I don't want to have any more kids. And then another kid came, and then when I was trying to have some more kids, thank God that didn't work out. Then I couldn't have any more kids, and now I'm like, yeah, no. And people try to tell me, oh, you could for what? Like, dude, first of all, there's the fact that I'm 42, and I know there are people that like. There's somebody that I don't know her, I just know of her. She had her first child, maybe 19 or 18 or something like that, and then she got married whenever and had her second child when she was like 40 and then had another one and no. You know
Yeah, I
what
was
I'm
gonna ask
saying?
you
Like,
if people like if you were like, "Oh, you're gonna be an empty nester. You're gonna go," because like that's the thing. People once your kids start to age out of your house, they're like, "You're gonna want to have another baby."
no, I'm gonna have a dog. Like, I'm gonna get a dog. First of all, dogs are loyal. Like, some of my clients have dogs. Like, there's this one client that I have now that has 2 Great Danes, which freaked me out at first because why are there dogs as big as horses out here? Like, why is that even a thing? Now that I'm used to how giant they are, because they're not like scary or anything. They're just shouldn't be trying to jump up on a couch as like you're too big for all that. You're not this little lap dog that you think you are.
But they think, yeah, they think they're lapdogs.
But they're very comforting. Like I've noticed when I'm stressed and when I try to kind of like put that to the side to focus on whatever with the client. So like I'm obviously not going to come in there crying or whatever. I'm just going to, but I've noticed the dogs will like come up and it's just this comfort that you just don't get from anyone else. And like the level of loyalty that they have because they're always the same every time I show up. They show the same type of love. Whereas kids, I have kids. I know sometimes they don't want to be bothered with you, or sometimes they get an attitude, or sometimes whatever. I'm not trying to start all over with that. Like, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, you give up too much for a fickle response.
Facts. That I'd be like, man, whatever. You better be glad I'm not being how you're being, or being how some of the stuff you tell me that some of your friends' parents be doing. Like, man, but you out here giving me attitude or whatever. But all right, that's cool. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I'm unfortunately I've grown up to be that person who's perpetually like seeing children do things in public, and I'm like, my mom would have punched all of my teeth out. Like, shit like,
Yeah, and I will say that I'd say the teenage there's like this certain I'd say Janae is, but I don't know if it starts with her. But Kayliana's not like this. But I've noticed Janae's age group and then younger, the level of entitlement that I see them have at times just is mind blowing. Just and I don't see it as much with Janae because I raised her. So there's just like whatever you thought you were entitled to, I probably couldn't afford it like that anyway, just because working in the social work field is just not it was not a financially lucrative field. That's why I'm not sad that I left. You know what I'm saying? But man, those that their parents can or whatever, it's just really interesting the entitlement that the younger generations have. And I don't know if it's because social media puts everything at their fingertips, so it makes them not realize not everything usually is that accessible. Well, I guess usually it is because it's the world they grew up in, but it wasn't always this way, or I don't know what it is, but it's really interesting just seeing, especially now that I'm back working with young people, and I'm like, yeah, you tripping, like you tripping.
yeah, things are way more instantaneous. So
Like you don't have to wait. Yeah, you don't have to wait. I don't have to go to the grocery store, so I don't have to wait in line. I just have to boop 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 boop, pick what I want, pay. Then they say you have such and such time if you want to add something. So in
right.
case, and I've had to do that where I'm like, oh dang, I should have got this. Like, I, I don't even have to like. I don't have to do anything that I don't want to do. You know, so. Yeah, man. So let's speaking of entitlement and adulting, let's segue to that before we get up out of here, I guess. Adulting. You are adulting like for real adulting. You have your master's degree. Yes, yes, yes. Shout out cuz I don't have that. And you've been on your own for a while, so just she doesn't live in currently in the city that like she grew up in and all that. So when she went to college and then went to her master's program, she moved to Boston and has been there ever since. And I don't think not I don't think I haven't reached that level of adulthood where I like move in a completely different city by myself because I've pretty much always lived around my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
so you're on a level of adulting that I mean, I don't know if I'll reach because I don't know that I'll leave here anytime soon. And then me doing it now, then there's more to consider because my kids, like, do I want to? So, what's your favorite thing about adulting? We'll start with that.
Ah, is there a favorite thing?
I had to think
Um,
about that too.
yeah, I mean, I guess to an extent, I get to spend my money on what I want to, which is
Mm.
nice. I prioritize my funds the way I wish.
Mhm.
I think that's, you know, I do like my job, but I wouldn't say I like going to work. I just happen to like my job.
Right.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Is there anything about adulting that's particularly fun? Um, drugs.
Mm.
I'm kidding. No, I mean, I think it's just a matter of like not having to ask people for things when you want them. Like, I make
Mhm.
my own money. So after the bills are paid and the dog is fed,
Mhm.
that's up to me. I can do whatever I want with that money. Um, Other than that, it's not fun.
Mm.
I mean, I don't have, I think, the same type of closeness with my parents that I think most people are used to or have. So, I enjoy having my space
Mm.
and not being up underneath
Yeah.
people. Yeah, I think I just like life is healthier for me with a geographical boundary where I get to decide when I come in and out.
Mhm.
Um, so that's nice, not being like tied to people, which sounds sad. Like when I say it out loud, I feel like I sound like just the most miserly person. Oh, I hate being attached to people and I just want to spend my money on whatever I want. But that's not true. Like I make really, really deep, close relationships with people. It's just that like I typically choose those people and
Mhm.
I don't really subscribe to the idea that like because someone is biologically related to you, you owe them closeness.
Yeah, I don't either.
So, I'm close to the people I want to be close to, and I leave space between me and the people I feel like I need to.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
I will say for me, because I had to really think about it, and I wrote this question, and oftentimes I write questions that I don't think about until it's my turn to answer it. And
Hmm.
so when I wrote it, I was like, what do I even like about adulting? Because I hate paying bills. I hate, and it's wild because, like, as a parent, I'm also responsible for the well-being of, like, other people, and I've always taken that, like, very seriously. I'm not saying, like, I'm perfect, but one of the things that's always been important to me with my kids is, like, making sure that I'm teaching them how to have, like, healthy communication, healthy boundaries, and all that stuff with other people simply because yes, I'm their parent, but there's going to come a point in time, such as now, where they're all adults, and I had to train them up for things that weren't happening yet. But I understood at a young age, like we've had open communication and just all these things since they were little, just because whatever. But then there are times I'm like, it's mind blowing. I'm like, wow, like I really have kids. Like, I'm really responsible, and they ask me things that I'm like, "Why do you even think I know that?" And which to some degree, like, I could be flattered, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, but then that just adds to the adulting because then there are times when I'm like, I don't wanna be like, why me? Sometimes I'm like, "Who said I'm responsible enough to, like, be in charge of people and like my own life and whatever.
That's me every
I
day at work.
yeah, like I sometimes I need an adultier adult to like do whatever. And I've always enjoyed the career that I've had, though. Very, very fortunate that even before I had my degree, I was able to get into the social work field, which that's the career that I wanted to be in. And then even now, I own a company and create content and all these things. So like, I'm very, very blessed that professionally, even though professionally I never made as much money as I wanted to, but I just made do with what I made because I understood that the work that I was doing, you're not gonna be making money like that in the social work field. Now that I've kind of transitioned out of that, still very blessed that I'm doing what I want to do. So like professionally, I've always enjoyed that part about adulting. I know that is a blessing because there are a lot of people that like even when I was in the social work field, I wanted to be in that field. There are a lot of people that they hate their job, and I can't say that I've hated a job for sure in the last over a decade. Like once I got into this field, I've loved every job that I had. You know what I'm saying? So that said, though, when I was really thinking about this, I guess I'm gonna take this a little bit deeper. What I love about being an adult is mentally, emotionally, and like my even spiritual growth to where like I always had like I was a lot more insecure back in the day than I am now. So I'm a lot more secure in myself, a lot more confident. I went through a lot of just different I mean, even divorce you could say is trauma, you know what I'm saying? I remember when my parents told me they were divorcing. Like I remember I that scene lives rent free in my head
Mhm.
forever. And it's not like it was this whole like they weren't arguing, it wasn't all that, but it's just something I remember. And I remember seeing how it affected my mom, seeing how my dad was communicating, like all that. um but I've endured other trauma, you know what I'm saying, and just different things that I've gone through. And to be where I'm at now, where despite what I've gone through, I still like even have hope for love, despite my marriage and other stupid situationships I've had since then, or even my just continued ability to overcome despite just the challenges and stuff we've had to overcome, like even as a family, you know what I'm saying? And so I like that about adult me. So that's more so what I like about me, but I feel like that's a byproduct of me being adult and being more mature because when you're up until like mid 20s, your brain isn't even fully developed anyway, and most
Mhm.
of your decisions are emotional decisions anyway. And so making level headed decisions, being where I made all of my foolish decisions also pre social media age. So there's no evidence of anything out there. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'd say I love that about being an adult is more so just like my mindset because I really could go without the rest of all this. I mean, I guess it's cool to be able to do what I want. Like if I want to move, I've gone back and forth about leaving Omaha. I could. When I wanted to start a company, I could. You know what I mean? Now I own a company and I can literally do whatever I want with it. You know what I'm saying? So like that's all fine and dandy, but that also all comes with responsibility that I really could do without, you know what I'm saying, sometimes. So cuz on the flip side of that, if I don't do it, especially right now, no one will. So like
Mhm.
that balance of trying to figure out my schedule so that it works best so I don't feel like all I'm doing is working all the time. Yeah. So,
It's a give and take.
mhm. Mhm. So what would you say do you hate about adulting? Like literally your least favorite thing.
Um, it's a mixture of like trying to deal with medical stuff, like trying to grapple with my health and like making doctor's appointments or grappling with trying to get doctors to listen to me
Mhm.
or and then of course like taxes. I think last year was this past year, 2022 was the first year I think I've ever done my taxes without crying.
Mm.
Which was like a huge, I was so excited. I messaged several people and was like, I did my taxes and I didn't cry. Like, so, and I like the thing is, with all the things that come with adulting, the more you do, the more complicated your taxes get.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, between trying to schedule all of the maintenance I need for to keep my body running,
Mhm.
and keeping up with taxes, those are probably like the worst things.
Mm. I would say paying bills. I just think there are certain things that I don't understand why it's as expensive as it is. And this is even not even just now. And like, why do we have to pay for certain things that are like basic needs? And why is it so expensive? Like, we need water. Like, that is a basic need. Not only do we need it to cleanse our bodies, cleanse our homes, cleanse our clothes, and all that, but we need it just to drink. Why is it so expensive? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
why do we have to pay as much as we have to pay for water? We need electricity. You know what I'm saying? Why is it the way it is? Why is rent the way it is? And this is like, these have been things that I have not understood. Like, and I heard somebody recently say it shouldn't be a minimum wage, it should be a livable wage.
Hmm.
Because, like, there just shouldn't be certain things the way that they are. And even I'm seeing things, and I'm wondering if they're making a shift towards this. Where I saw, I think it was a tweet where someone said, if I can pay $1,200 a month rent for 3 years or how many years I've been in this apartment, that should show you that I can afford a $700 mortgage,
Right.
simply because $1,200 is more than $700. And so,
Amen.
like, the way that the country has structured some of these things, it literally just does not make sense to me. And though you have to pay bills, like, you have to pay for things to be able to survive. And it's just like, even with the gas prices, like, yeah, they're going down, but they're still way higher than they were before. Why did they really get that high in the first place? Like, was that really necessary? And then what changed now that you can suddenly lower it? Like, it just, I don't know. Yeah, not a fan of all that.
Mm-mm.
Yep. Well, I guess we will get up out of here. Um, this has been a great episode. I'm not going to tell y'all that any of my other siblings are going to be on here because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? This is not a sibling series that am starting. I just wanted to have her on, and here we are. Do you want the people to follow you on social media or anything like that? No. Okay.
I don't do anything that exciting.
So don't look for her on social media, and don't look for any links. And there really won't be. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being for real. Don't look for anything. Don't look for me to tag her in that, because I'm not going to on purpose. Maybe on Facebook, because that's a different type of people. Like,
Well, if you were gonna tag me somewhere, I would be more comfortable maybe with Instagram
oh,
than
okay,
Facebook. Yeah, that's
okay,
I keep all the family stuff on Facebook, and I do
gotcha.
my ratchet stuff on Instagram.
Okay, so Well, still, don't worry about it, y'all. Just she don't want you following her, so I don't know. I might not tag her just because. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't tag my kids either.
Yeah.
Like, and I tag Cedric because Cedric is kind of out there on Twitter and he's out there all like that. But I don't know. It's just such an interesting thing, and maybe that's why I don't have it, because I haven't had, outside of my kids, I haven't had any other family on the show besides Cedric. But it's kind of like, but do y'all need to be seeing, like, I don't
If
know.
if I was doing something exciting, then yeah, I would be like, yeah, follow me. But like,
Yeah.
you would just be disappointed. Like,
And the thing about it is, I mean, my listeners, I don't know who they are. And that's the thing, too. Like, the people that I know that listen because they've told me, or they're other podcasters, all right. But it's like, you don't know who is doing what. And it's like when it's family, I just kind of have this different, because I don't want to have to, like, I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to, but I will. But I
I
don't want
know.
to have to, man. Especially when it comes to my kids. Like, yeah, I don't tag them in anything. They know they're gonna get a birthday post video that I do every year. They
Mhm.
know I'm also not gonna tag them in it because people are just really weird, and I don't want to have to do what I will do over any of my family. So yeah, and what's understood doesn't need to be said, or whatever they be saying. You know what I'm saying? So the next podcast happy hour, I still don't have a date for you guys, but we have been discussing when we're gonna have the next one. So we didn't break up. We still talk every day. We're still really good friends. It's just we've not done a podcast happy hour, and we've been just focusing on us and not necessarily trying to entertain y'all. We still do movie nights, like we still have video calls. So we're still, I'd say, even closer than when we were before, especially now that we've all like met at our retreat. But we just have not done a podcast happy hour, but it is coming, it is in the works. I also will have a live show coming up, actually a couple more to come on that, because I don't have specific dates as of right now at the time of this recording, but it is coming up, so be on the lookout for that. And then, as always, make sure you are taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Be healthy in your relationships, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for